There's a reason most people never change. Not because they're weak, not because they're broken, not because they weren't born for greatness, but because they wake up every morning and live by habits that were designed to keep them small. You see, life doesn't respond to your goals. It responds to your patterns. It doesn't care what you write on your vision board. It only echoes back what you repeat in silence when no one's watching. And most people, they repeat doubt. They repeat fear. They repeat comfort. They repeat distraction. They are loyal to the very routines that are quietly killing their future. But you wouldn't be here if something inside you wasn't burning to become more, to rise, to break the loop, to stop living on autopilot and start living on purpose. And that starts with your habits. Napoleon Hill once said, "You are the master of your destiny. You can influence, direct, and control your own environment. You can make your life what you want it to be. But only if you take control of your mind and your daily actions." This isn't about hacks. This isn't about shortcuts. This is about self-discipline. It's about rewiring your identity through ritual. It's about constructing greatness, brick by brick, habit by habit, morning by morning. 'Cause your habits are not just routines. They are decisions. They are declarations. They are daily votes for the person you are becoming. So ask yourself right now, what are you voting for every day? When you wake up and check your phone before you check your goals, what are you reinforcing? When you skip the gym, the journaling, the silence, what are you saying to your future? You want change? You want success? You want a life that looks nothing like the one you're trying to escape? Then you must stop chasing motivation and start building momentum. The most powerful people in history did not wait to feel ready. They moved anyway. They acted while afraid. They built habits that made motivation irrelevant. Thomas Edison didn't wait for the perfect moment. He created 10,000 imperfect ones. Abraham Lincoln didn't wait to feel confident. He stepped up in the middle of chaos and led anyway. Walt Disney didn't wait for someone to believe in him. He believed in himself until the world had no choice but to catch up. And that's what this is. This moment, this message, it is a new standard, a new rhythm, a new contract between you and the life you are born to live. These 9 habits are not suggestions. They are weapons. They are anchors. They are the tools that will pull you out of mediocrity and into mastery. Each habit is a doorway to discipline, a doorway to clarity, a doorway to unstoppable fire. And starting today, you will not just learn them. You will live them. You will breathe them. You will build your new identity with them. Because from this moment forward, we don't wait for better days. We don't wish for success. We don't pray for ease. We build, one habit at a time, one decision at a time, one morning at a time. Habit 1, command your morning before the world does. Before the world has a chance to shape your mood, you must shape your mission. This is the foundation, the non-negotiable, 'cause how you start your morning is how you build your life. Most people wake up reacting to noise, to emails, to messages, to the chaos of everyone else's agenda. They check their phone before they check their purpose. They scroll before they speak to themselves. They listen to the world before they listen to their own soul. But the legends, the builders, the creators of empires, they rise before the world needs them. They step into silence before they step into service. They speak their truth before the world tries to distort it. Napoleon Hill wrote, "The dominating thoughts of one's mind will eventually reproduce themselves in outward physical action, and gradually transform themselves into physical reality. So, the first habit is this: own the first hour completely, without compromise. You start with intention, not convenience. You rise with purpose, not panic. You wake up early, not because it's easy, but because your dream is worth it. This hour is your sacred ground. It's where you pray, where you journal, where you plan, where you move your body, read your goals aloud, visualize the life that's already waiting for you. Not 1 minute of that hour belongs to the outside world, 'cause that hour is where you remember who you are. You don't check the news. You check your mindset. You don't scroll the feed. You feed your spirit. You don't wait to react. You initiate. You lead. This is the hour where you declare, in action, not words, my goals are real. My vision is alive. My identity is transforming. Because you can't expect the world to follow your purpose if you won't commit to it in the first hour of your day. You may be tired, you may feel resistance, but what you do in that first hour rewrites the rest of your day. And what you do every morning becomes who you are. You don't need motivation when you have identity. You don't need perfect conditions when you have discipline. And you don't need applause when your vision is louder than your fear. So build the first habit with obsession. Command your morning before the world commands you. Habit 2. Train your mind like a warrior. You cannot win a war with a weak weapon, and your mind, your thoughts, is the sharpest blade you will ever carry. Every victory starts in the battlefield of your brain, and every defeat, it begins the moment you surrender control of your focus. Most people have no filter. They allow the world to flood their minds with garbage, negativity, distraction, fear, and noise. They feed their doubts before they feed their dreams. They consume worry before they consume wisdom. They practice anxiety without even realizing it. But the masters, the ones who move mountains, bend reality, and defy the odds, they train their minds like warriors. They do not tolerate weak thoughts. They do not entertain lies from the past. They do not babysit beliefs that no longer serve them. They guard their mind like their life depends on it, because it does. Napoleon Hill taught us, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. But you cannot believe in greatness while thinking in limitation. You cannot achieve success while marinating in self-doubt. You cannot build your empire with a peasant's mentality. You must train your thoughts every single day. This is the second habit, mental conditioning. You must speak life over yourself before the world speaks fear. You must affirm your power before anyone questions it. You must visualize your goals, not once but daily, until your subconscious accepts it as reality. You don't wait for belief to show up. You build it. You declare, I am focused. I am disciplined. I am aligned. I am becoming exactly who I was born to be. And even if your emotions don't agree yet, your consistency will convince them. Because repetition builds belief, and belief builds behavior, and behavior shapes identity, and identity creates results. Every morning you train your mind, not because you feel broken, but because you are upgrading. Because you know a mind left untrained becomes a weapon used against itself. You must learn to interrupt negative thought patterns with truth. You must starve your distractions and feed your direction. You must speak your vision louder than your fear. That's what warriors do. And you're in a battle, not against the world, but against the part of you that still thinks it's safer to stay the same. So rise every day, look yourself in the mirror, and train your thoughts with the discipline of a soldier who knows, if I win the battle here, I win the battle out there. Because if your mind is right, everything else will follow. Habit 3. Guard your energy. Like a fortune. Energy is your most precious currency. Not time, not money. Because you can have all the time in the world and all the opportunity at your fingertips. But if your energy is scattered, drained, or contaminated, none of it matters. Energy is the invisible force behind every decision, every conversation, every result you produce. But most people treat it like it's unlimited. They give it away freely to people who drain them, to tasks that don't serve them, to thoughts that destroy them. They allow the world to rob their energy before they even protect it. But you must learn to guard your energy like it's gold, because it is. This is habit 3. Protect your energy with ruthless intention. Napoleon Hill said, "Set your mind on a definite goal and observe how quickly the world stands aside to let you pass." But you cannot set your mind if your energy is being hijacked all day. So how do you protect it? First, audit your environment. Who are you letting into your circle? Are they building you or draining you? Are they challenging you to rise or keeping you comfortable and complacent? Every person you engage with either fuels your fire or smothers your flame. And when you start taking your future seriously, you stop making space for those who don't. Second, protect your focus. Say no to things that do not align. Say no to people who want your time but don't respect your purpose. Say no to distractions that offer you dopamine but steal your destiny. You are not here to be accessible. You are here to be effective. The most powerful minds protect their energy by design, not by accident. They don't wait to feel overwhelmed to take a break. They plan for recovery. They don't say yes to every invitation. They say yes to their mission. They don't multitask themselves into exhaustion. They move with clarity, intensity, and intention. Third, nurture the source. If you are the power plant, then you must be responsible for generating your own charge. Feed your spirit before you feed your feed. Walk in nature, sit in silence, train your body. Speak gratitude out loud. Gratitude multiplies energy. Movement fuels energy. Clarity protects energy. You're not just tired, you're scattered. You're not unmotivated, you're unprotected. You don't need more time. You need more focus on what matters most. You must become obsessed with protecting your power, because your energy determines your influence, and your influence determines your impact. Every morning, ask yourself, where will I direct my power today? Then move with fierce intention, because the future doesn't belong to the busy. It belongs to the focused, to the energized, to the aligned. Habit 4. Move your body to move your life. Your body is not just a vessel. It is your engine, your amplifier, your antenna to the world. And yet, most people walk around disconnected from it, dragging it through life like a burden instead of treating it like the powerful, finely tuned machine that it was designed to be. Understand this. You cannot have a sharp mind inside a sluggish body. You cannot access power, clarity, or sustain discipline if your physical vessel is weak. Napoleon Hill may have spoken primarily about thought and belief, but the great thinkers knew. The body is the servant of the mind, and if the body isn't working, the mind starts to suffer. Energy leaks, focus crumbles, willpower dies. That's why the 4th habit is non-negotiable. Move your body to move your life. This is not about aesthetics. This is not about vanity. This is about momentum, discipline, power, vitality. Because when your blood is pumping, your mind gets sharper. When you sweat, your stress is released. When you push your limits physically, your limits mentally begin to expand. This is not a luxury. It's a leadership habit. You don't need a fancy gym. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need movement every single day. Whether it's walking, lifting, stretching, running, or training like a warrior, your job is to treat your physical state as sacred, because motion is the language of life. And when you move with strength, your entire life starts to echo that power. Think of the greats. Steve Jobs walked daily to generate ideas. JFK swam daily to stay grounded. Even Thomas Edison took long walks to think and restore his energy. You are not separate from your body. It is your tool of execution. And when you train it with care, it begins to carry your mission with greater force. There will be days you don't feel like it. That's when it matters most, because movement is a metaphor. It teaches you to keep going even when you're tired, to push when it hurts, to rise when everything tells you to stay still. And that is exactly how success is built. So move your body. Move it with purpose. Move it with pride. Move it like your life depends on it, because it does. And when you move, your life will move with you.